Do you want to pause the recording? Because you're recording right now.
Sure. Can I just make you the person?
Yes, please.
Audrey, if you pay attention, you might learn a couple things.
I hope so.
Okay. Guys, Audrey Lee from Zillow. She's the smartest person on earth. We're lucky she's here. Cool. And we be quite honest, like she's helped us more than behind the scenes, more than anyone will ever know. And she's one of my best friends. We eat sushi once a quarter, and it's amazing. Cool. So what we're going to get into today, we're going to get into a couple things. So we're going to talk about Pokeballs, right? What we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to stay. There's a statistic that I read or heard, or someone said it to me, or someone else taught on it or taught me it, is that from the time that the consumer starts talking to you until they actually write an offer, there's like 16 contacts. We need to contact them 16 times. So what we're going to do is agents don't want, the majority of agents are contacting people one time, right? The majority, right? That's what happens, right? And that just doesn't work. It just doesn't work, right? And people don't know agents don't know what to do and what to say and blah, blah, blah. All we really have to do is people don't have to be taught more than they have to be reminded, right? So all we're doing is this. Just imagine this is your life, right? You're like, hey, Lauren, it's me, Joe. Remember, I'm still a realtor. All right, see you later. Like, that's essentially what we're doing, right? Like, we're like, hey, I still sell houses. I think you're cool. We're friends, right? All right, don't forget me, but we can't say it like that, right? And also what we're doing in our organization is we're just doing things differently, right? We're doing things differently. And we're also, if we're doing things differently, it means we're saying things differently and we're bringing value, right? Our mission statement at the Joe Oz Real Estate Group is the Joe Oz Real Estate Group exists to help our clients achieve their goals while helping our team members achieve theirs, right? So what this really looks like is like where most realtors are thinking about themselves, we're thinking about others, right? And we're thinking about the consumer and our teammates. And when that shit's really going down, it's a special place to be, right? And it's fun to work and we're all working together and I think everybody wins, right? And so if we can have this verbiage, or if we can talk to the consumer like, hey, we can bring them value over and over and over and connect with them and talk to them and poke them, right? The poking thing sounds weird. It's like the Facebook thing, like poke or whatever. But if we can just talk to them and just check, it's just checking in. And by the way, we don't say check in. Have you ever had someone be like, hey man, just checking in? This is my response. Like, oh, don't check. I don't want to be checked in on, right? Like, I don't want you to check in on me. Like tell me something awesome, right? So we're going to get into that. And there's a couple other things we're going to touch on today that I think are going to be super valuable to the team. I work one-on-one with everyone that's opted into the Flex program. And guess what? If one person is having challenges, do you think that some of you guys might come across those same challenges?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we should probably talk about a few of them, right? And the cool thing is when we have so many people, like motion creates emotion, right? We have so many people in it, right? Like they get to fail and screw it up and come back and tell you like, hey, I just got back from surfing. How's the surf? It wasn't very good. It's not worth going out. Like I was there. Like it wasn't not worth going to the beach, whatever. It's fine. It's cool. If you want to get wet and go in the fucking water, cool. But like, it's not awesome, or whatever. Like, hey, how's the traffic? Oof, I'd stay in, that's kind of it. So what's happening now is a couple things I'm going to go over with you guys. So on our, let me share my screen real quick. All right, cool. First things first. So did anyone here in our Slack channel, did anyone see the offer advice channel get created by any chance?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Does anybody know what that is? Anybody know what that might be?
On how to bring offers.
You kind of broke up there, Adria. I appreciate you getting involved, man. That's awesome. Yeah. So what happens is it's a challenging market. It's a challenging world out there. Everything is changing. Everything's different, right? Like I went to Starbucks on Saturday, it was closed. On a Saturday at 2 p.m, it's like, yo, we're closed. Shit's going crazy. You cannot buy coffee here right now. I was like, wow, that's kind of not really happened before. Things are changing, right? And things are, I don't know, things are changing, right? So we have to talk about what's really going on, right? So, is there a lot of inventory right now? Go like this. There's no inventory, right? There's not a lot of inventory. If you are out showing houses and someone really likes a house and you make an offer, do you want that offer to get accepted? Yes, right. Does anyone know right now the National Association of Realtors is reporting how many offers a consumer is writing before they win a house? Does anyone know that number, or does anyone want to take a guess?
8 offers.
That's right, Ethan Hines. And so at the Joe Oz Real Estate Group, because we are strategic, because we plan, because we help each other, does anybody know how many offers on average we are writing before our consumers are getting the house?
Hmm.
Someone want to guess?
4.
4. Nice guess. Thank you. It's 2.
2.
Right? Does that sound about right to you, Ethan? Right? Like we're so what's happening now is the reason this is happening, it's not like we train on this, right? And here's the thing, guys. When you have that, like, do you want to get that off? Like, do you want to do the extra work? I mean, this keeps coming back to Gary V, like the hard thing, like pick your hard. Like, do you want to be poor? That's hard. You want to be rich? That's hard too. Which, like, do you want to be fat? Do you want to be skinny? Like that whole thing, right? Like pick a hard and let's just do that hard, right? And so the funny thing is really the hard part is change, right? That's really the hard part. But like doing something different. But like what we're talking about here is like, I just want to get my offer accepted. Here at the Joe Oz Group, man, we have an abundance of leads. We have abundance of consumers, and Zillow's dying to turn on more connections, but they can't turn them on if we're not if we can't handle what we have and we're not churning. Does that make sense? So when we have these at bats, we got to make the best of them. And the way that we do that is we are strategic about everything that we do. There's 3 reasons why someone would fail in our organization. 3 reasons. 1, they're not following the model, right? Using the resources, et cetera, et cetera. Number 2, they're not taking new leads. The magic number for new leads is you should be having 2 to 3 connections per week. Number 3, you got a bad attitude, yo. And we don't like those people. If you got a bad attitude, we don't want you here because it's contagious, right? You walk in a room with Lauren, she's happy, you get happy. That's the way we want the place to be, right? So everything we do is strategic. You just gotta learn how to do it, right? And you gotta ask for a little help from your friends. So in this past week, I'm not gonna mention any names. We had 2 offers that, so this came about recently because in the last 10 days, our real estate team has submitted 14 offers. Can anyone guess how many of those were accepted?
7.
7. I like that guess. You guys want the answer?
3.
It's 2. 2 out of 14. Is that so? What's happening now is we have something called an offer submission checklist, and this is to help you get your offers accepted, right? One of the, I'm not going to mention any names, right? One of the offers went out, and it was the house was listed at 325. The house was the offer went in at 360, right? I didn't know about this until maybe a couple hours before it went, whatever. It wasn't, there was no collaboration on this offer, right? So 325, 360. When I went and looked at the house and I pulled the comps, the house is worth 360. So it was underpriced, right? So like, I don't care about that, right? But what happened is if you're going in over asking to get that house, you should be going in over asking over 360, not 325. So if I was to suggest what this house should be offered at, I'd say 390, right? And we didn't get the house, and the offer that was accepted was 375. If that offer was, so we have a new Slack channel called Offer Advice, right? And so if you pop, so the teams that I align with, the teams like Chris's team in Newport, right? Who closes about 100 transactions a month. One of the single secret weapons of their team is they have an offer advice. And the cool thing is Danielle isn't here. Danielle just did this. Danielle's not on this call. She's in Florida with family right now, but like her natural talent is so like her IQ is so high that she knows to ask for help. And she was like, her first flex deal, which she just got accepted, by the way, she dropped it and was like, and she said, hey, She dropped in a different channel. She's like, hey, can somebody look at this? And then 3 people chimed in like, oh, I might do this, or did you consider this, or blah, blah, blah. Maybe I know that realtor. Oh my God, my sister's the realtor. I'll call her right now and tell her to accept your offer. And so now what this looks like is we had another offer go out. I'm not going to name the agent. And I looked at it and I'm like, what happened here? And the agent said, oh, you know what? They said it was something about our conditions, our terms and conditions. And so I said like, and I'm like, and I pulled up the offer. We track all the offers and the price that the house is listed at, what the offer goes in at, the terms and conditions and all that. And the appraisal was not addressed. Like no one, she's like, well, we were putting so much money down. I just figured they knew that we could waive the appraisal. And I was like, oh my God, if she would have just wrote, we were waiving the appraisal, that offer would have been accepted as well. So there's this video. I'm not going to play it right now, but there's a movie called Any Given Sunday. There's a speech that Al Pacino gives in the locker room, and it's called the Game of Inches speech. And he just screams and screams and screams about how life is a game of inches. Football is a game of inches. The inches that you need are all around you. That's how you win a game. It's how you win at life, right? And so it's these little tiny things, man, these little inches. And we lost both those offers by inches because we like took the call, set the appointment, showed the houses, got in relationship with the consumer, earned their trust, wrote the offer, submitted the offer. And we just didn't have, like, we were at like, you know how you lose the game and you're like at the whatever yard line. I'm not really a sports guy, but these analogies seem to work, right? So what happens now is no offer submission checklist, right? If you guys are submitting an offer, now listen, at the Joe Oz Real Estate, here where you work, man, this stuff it's optional, but it's awesome, right? This is all suggestions. You can do it or you don't have to do it. But guess what, man? I don't know. Doctor, if you're dying and the doctor tells you to do something, you're probably going to do the, I don't know, you're probably going to do it, right? So anyway, what it looks like is if you guys are writing an offer, here's the deal. Joe Osachek, Chris Gianos, Gil Olson, Lauren Martin, Luke Ninamaya, and Sam Marks have all opted into getting their eyes on these offers and looking at them. That's a dream team. That's a sick team. Like imagine you had like an advisory board like that to look at your offers, and all these people are here to help you, right? And if you go work anywhere else, you're not going to have a broker or a manager or someone who's going to like look at their phone on a Saturday and look at an offer and give you some feedback and try and help you. Your offer might be absolutely fine. Your offer might be perfect. And then guess what? You know, and people are going to be like, hey man, are they using Evan Beach as a lender? Have Evan call the listing agent right now and let them know that they're already through pre-qualification and they have all their 2 years tax returns, 2 months pay stubs, have ran credit, they're pre-qualified and they're ready to go. Like have them call and advocate for your buyer, things like that. So offer submission checklist. If you guys are not winning, you're not, and some of you guys haven't been to the onboarding yet, which we're going to do on Monday, but you're going to get an onboarding packet with all these checklists and all these things that you're supposed to do, right? Now, you guys are familiar with if you work, and by the way, if you're, I don't know who's on this thing, if you're not on the Joe Oz group and you're at EXP or whatever, and you're in our group, you can have access to all this stuff, right? Like we share everything. So this is our university, right? So we have an online university with all the tools, whatever we talk about, whatever you need, it should be here, right? We always ask you guys to look in 3 places before pinging Lauren, right? Like please, in a really, 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 really nice way, try to find it, please. Anyway, onboarding, here we go. If you click onboarding, the complete onboarding workbook is right here. All these things are here. I want you guys to, there's 2 checklists, and they're checklists. That's anything a system is. You guys understand, like since the beginning of planes, like to this day, pilots have a clipboard, a pen, and a checklist before they take off. That's a system. A system is just a checklist. If you manage a Starbucks and you open it up in the morning, checklist. Everything's a checklist. If you're closing down the bar, checklist. Like that's all this is, right? And if you follow the checklist, things are going to be sweet. 2 checklists that you need: your post connection call checklist. When you take a lead, when a lead calls, these aren't leads, these are consumers, man. I just got to stop calling them leads. We used to get leads at Remax. They were horrible. We get like Mickey Mouse at yahoo.com and whatever. These are people. So when you get off the phone, it's like, oh my God, what do I do? Just pull out the checklist, baby. Just hit it. You're done. You're good. You don't have to worry about it. And so really our whole system for us to scale, it should be dummy proof, right? If we can do it, we're not going to do anything once that we can't do 150 times. So now you have your offer submission template. Guys, we have a Slack channel called Do You Know This Agent? In the last few months, I've had 2 offers accepted because I've been selling real estate for 15 years in our market. Apparently I've done the right thing and I have integrity, and people tend to take my phone call and they like are nice to me and whatever. So we have brand recognition in the marketplace, and guess what? We're always nice to people. And so they tend to want to help us. Right. And we also do a shit ton of business. So when I offer to an agent, like, hey man, like next time you have a buyer and we have the listing, we'll do the same for you. Right. So relationships go a long way. Right. By the way, this is going to be updated. The first thing on here is going to say, make sure that drop your offer in the offer advice channel. Now, the reason why we're doing that is because 2 heads are better than 1. And you actually have like 6 heads of like experienced realtors and coaches and business people that want you to win, right? You want to go fast, go alone, right? If you want to go far, go together. That's what we say, right? So speak with the listing agent, and we're going to go over the rest of this. Speak with the listing agent prior to submitting the offer to determine these 3 non-negotiables. The script is right here. You can click it. What does a competitive price look like on the home? When are the offers due? What kind of special terms is the seller looking for? And there's like cool ways to say this stuff. You know, we'll get into all that, you know, like, when you call a listing agent, like, do you have any offers? They're like, yeah, $1 million. And you're like, cool. What is it? Are they close to asking? And they're like, I can't tell you that, Joe. If the house is listed at like 580, I'll be like, well, do some of them start with a 6, Mary? And they're like, well, Joe, well, yeah, Joe. You know what I mean? Like, there's ways to kind of have these conversations that we'll get to on a higher level, right? Slack your team lead to tag them, to tag team your offer because 2 heads are better than 1. Okay. People weren't doing this, so we made a special channel for this, and I'm talking about it now. And listen, I don't care if you do it. I just want you guys to win. If you know what I mean? Like, this stuff's all optional. If you think it doesn't make any sense, you don't have to do it. But it's probably just not going to work out very well. And everybody on the team should be closing 2 to 4 transactions a month. That's just, that should just happen, right? Call the buyer's lender to inform that you'll be writing an offer on the specific property and make sure they are ready to call the listing agent. I just talked about that, right? Evan Beach, our lender, no other lender is going to do this. 1-800 number at Wells Fargo does not care about you, does not care about your client. Evan Beach, who works in our office, he is going to be like, hey, yeah, I got all Mary's stuff right here. And by the way, Evan probably already has a relationship with that realtor. This is all strategic stuff, dude. And if you guys think about it, most realtors are like this. They write up the offer and they're like, click, and they submit it, and they don't call anyone or do anything, and then they lose the house. It's insane. It's bonkers. And if you guys have these resources and you're not winning, that's kind of going to be on you, right? And I don't mean to say it in a mean way, but like I said, following the system, taking new leads, having a positive attitude, right? Call the buyer's lender, gather all necessary documents to attach the email, the why work with me, cover sheet, which we'll go over on onboarding, signed purchase agreement, pre-approval, signed seller's disclosure, proof of funds. Again, by the way, on our onboarding next week, if anyone like has already been through it and wants to pop in on certain days to learn certain things, you certainly can. You know, we're going to be there, but I'm going to dive into all this stuff at a super high level together, face to face, belly to belly, whatever. Prepare email using the submission template. Here it is. Okay, I'm going to stop there, but you guys kind of get it, right? Like, use the tools. We're here. There's nowhere you can go in Montgomery County where you have this kind of support and people actually want you to win, and we're here to work for you. Lauren, Joe, Gil, we work for the realtor. Like, we don't sell houses. I'm not showing houses later. I'm not going on listing appointments. I'm just here to help you guys. Let's stop there. And then questions, guys, any questions?
Hi, Joe.
Yes.
It's not a question, it's just a comment. When you were saying networking is everything. And what I started to do right now is get into private Facebook groups like the local ones, the ones for the town. I'm Palestinian, so I started to look for the Palestinians groups. And yesterday, actually, I got a win because I was introduced by one of the group admin, to a realtor in North Jersey. He's a solo agent. He makes $25 million in sales. And he doesn't like to go to Monmouth County or Middlesex County or Ocean County. And he said he'll be giving me his referrals.
Look at that. I love that. So how do you do it all?
How did I do it?
I said, how do you do it all?
I just look for my people. I always try to insert myself into my community.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Of
So
course.
guys, can't say this enough, like it's on the Joe Oz Real Estate Group. The word of the day is over communicate. If you're new, if you're writing offers, if you got a lead, if the lead, like Ethan, dude, yesterday a lead responded to Ethan and he just screenshotted the text and he was like, what do I write back? And I just gave him the text and then he sent it. And I told him what the next step was. So like what we're doing is when you're new here, like, let's say like, dude, let's get into this in like 90 days, right? Like pretend like this is like my son with the bicycle, like the training wheels, like I'll hold onto the handle and I'll hold on to underneath the seat and we'll go, but like, and I'll do it. I'll run down the entire street, right? We might fall a couple times, but like, I want to let go. Right. And so I'm here, over communicate. Like I'm here for you guys and I want you to win. I'd rather stop what I'm doing to help you. And Gil will do this. I'll do this. Dude, Lauren's not Lauren's job, but she does it anyway because she wants you to win. It's insane. Be like a Saturday. She'd be like, you forgot this on the contract. And she's like, goes back to sucking on crawfish, right? But like, and then like Chris is in there and Luke and Sam and Ethan knows all you guys just know so much about real estate that like, we've got to help each other. So dude, over communicate. Joe, do you have a minute? I love that text. Joe, do you got a minute? Yes, I do. 100%. And you're probably saving me from my kid beating me with a shoe or I don't know, something, changing a diaper or something. Gil.
Yeah, it's hard. I tried to make this analogy too, but like imagine how you could, real estate has this magical thing where you can press pause and then redirect you. You can go to an expert. You've got Joe, I've done, whatever this is, like 60 or 70 deals. Joe's done 700 or 800 deals and has that level of experience. So like, it's a lot of, and plus the rest of the team. If you add all up the rest of the teams, it's another couple hundred deals. You've got all this like brain trust of experience that you can tap into. And in a normal business, you can't utilize all that experience really. You fall flat on your face and lose the full deal or whatever the sale would be or whatever the thing is. And there's nothing really you can do to learn in that thing. But in real estate, it's usually a phone call or a text message, exactly what Joe just described, where Ethan got a text, he screenshotted the text, sent it to Joe, and it's essentially Joe's experience responding through Ethan and then coaching Ethan on what's going to happen next and what to do. And that's how I was able to do 50 deals in my first year, was because at each step of the way, I was over communicating with Joe about every single appointment, about every single phone call. And I was just absorbing all that information, and I wouldn't have to learn it 2 or 3 times, but each scenario was new. And I always tell people, like, you really don't know what's going on until you do 50 deals. And even then you're still learning stuff that's coming up. Like I had a Sphere person come to me with a listing that like I've basically got to take, and like it's something new that I didn't do in the other 65 deals that I did do. So like if you think you know it all, you definitely don't. And the more you can embrace that of freshness and know that you don't know anything, essentially, even if you've done a dozen deals, you still basically know nothing in the business. Except the basics. Go and tap in for the advice. This is exactly like, imagine you were playing football and somebody passes the football and they outscramble, you're on defense and like you're the receiver or whatever, and you've got to like, oh, I thought they were going to do it over here, but it's actually over there. You could actually press pause and the ball is floating in midair, and then you can run to the other side of the field, practice and position yourself for it, and you still have to catch it, but then hit play. And then you're there to have the best shot at catching the ball instead of being on the other side of the field. real estate is like that because you can hit pause in between these every step of the phase of the thing with phone calls, emails, review my offer. Before you actually do it, you're actually pressing pause, inserting in experience, and then hitting play on the play, and you get to, and that's how you win really fast. So utilize that. Otherwise, you're just a recipe for disaster, or just like insane frustration. If it takes you 8 offers to get your offer accepted instead of 2, like you're going to do 4 times as much business in the year if you utilize that type of experience. So it does seem like a lot. And if you've been in the business or you've had your license before, you've done a deal without doing all this stuff, and you look at that checklist, it can seem like a lot of stuff, and it is. But guess what? It's good for the consumer. It's good for you. And there's whoever's going to win, whoever's doing it is going to win. There are people that are doing all those things. So you've got to do it to win. And that's just that's like understanding that is how you win and ramp up from what you would have done as 1 or 2 deals by yourself or whatever. Great. That's how you doing that, all the checklists and in implementing all the things that are coming from our partners at Zillow and our partners through Fast Forward Movement at EXP and Joe's experience and all of the team. All of that stuff is how you're going to get those inches and then score the touchdowns and, ultimately crush.
Thanks, Gil. By the way, Gil, if I'm writing 8 offers, how does my consumer feel? How does my client feel?
They're going to be super frustrated and probably be doubting on what you're doing. Get whatever. So you've got to be able to if somebody comes to me at the surf school and they're booking a surf lesson and 8 waves go by and they don't catch any of them, and they paid me $120 to teach them to surf and they can't even catch waves, they're going to be kind of bummed. If 1 or 2 go by, they'll be like, okay, well, this is what you did on that one that you got to do differently. You got to move up on your board or move back on your board. Or when I say go do this, then it's on them to actually do it in the same way that you can have a real conversation about, hey, this is where the house is actually valued. This is what you need to be offering. If they don't want to offer it, then that's kind of on them. But if you don't have that conversation, or you didn't know to touch base on where it's at, or whatever the scenario is, the appraisal contingencies, whatever the thing is for each property, if you don't do that, then it's you not knowing where the wave is or whatever that is, and you're gonna end up missing it.
Thanks, Gil. Cool. All right, guys. I'm gonna go right into Pokeables now. Hope that was helpful. By the way, kiss the listing agent's butt. Okay, kiss the listing agent's butt. You guys think that I kissed Zillow's butt for a couple of years to get Flex account? 100%, right? Kiss everybody's butts, right? Please. Oh my God, you're the greatest realtor ever. Can I have your autograph? By the way, can I have how did you do it? How'd you do it, listing agent? You're so great. Oh, you accepted my offer? Cool, thanks. All right, guys.
It works.
It's the only thing that works. It's the only thing that works. Sarah, do you think realtors have egos or no?
Whoever has ego, they don't belong to this business.
Well, unfortunately they do, but we want to feed their ego, right? Like you want to feed.
Oh yeah, you mean like the other side, the listing side? Oh yeah, and we better.
I know that you come from humility, but like most are like they're like leaning on their Lamborghini that like they're walking by, they don't even.
Yeah, of course we have to feed their ego.
Yeah.
I take them out to breakfast too after they accept my offer.
Look at that.
I swear to God, they love it. We'll just go to a coffee bar and we have breakfast.
That's funny. All right, cool guys. Thank you. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Anybody know how do I make this like full screen? Okay, I don't care. So what are Pokeballs? Why are we training on Pokeballs? Right, I'm doing it live. Right. Here's the contents. Why are we training on this? What are some examples? When to use them? And then some FAQs. Right. What the F is a Pokeball? Why are we talking about it? Pokeball is a specific style of content designed to reach out to a client without soliciting specific action. Right. So, can anyone tell me, I train on this a lot, what do realtors say to the clients over and over and over that does not have any value that I hate? Does anybody know?
It's a crazy market and it's so hard to get our offer accepted.
I do hate that, yeah. No, they say, cool, I'll send you some houses. I'll send you some houses. if you say, yeah, please don't say that. Please don't tell people you send them houses, right? Like, I don't know what you guys, but I don't need any more. I've got 12,000 emails in my inbox that I've never read, right? Like, I don't need you to send me houses. If they're on Zillow, if it's an Op City person, they're on realtor.com, right? Like, these people found the platform where they're searching for houses, right? The only value you can bring them is off-market properties, things like that, right? So what's happening now is again, guys, I lived in real estate 1.0, legacy realtor. That's me. I'm old, right? Like, I was able to just, the MLS agent is over. Sorry, you missed it. The days of putting a search in the MLS and getting a $10,000 check are over. It's over, right? Sorry to tell this to you, but if you're here, you're probably smart enough to realize that shit is over, right? And we're controlling the market, right? And so we have to talk to people differently. We have to bring them value, right? We're not putting our feet up and collecting paychecks, right? It's a more way of like poking the client and remind them that we're alive. I kind of did that little dance before where it's like, hey, like I'm still a realtor. You know, like, that's what we're doing. We're like saying hello, tapping them on the shoulder. I'm still here, right? In marketing, they call this top of mind awareness, right? It's that's why Coca-Cola does ads, right? They don't think you're going to go out and buy a soda. Just when it comes time to buy a soda, that's the one that we think of, right? Why are we training on this? One of the biggest opportunities across sales organizations all over the country is increasing number of attempts per lead. Unfortunately, with increased number of touches, we hear things like, I don't want to bug the client, or I feel like I'm being annoying, et cetera, et cetera. Yo, maybe you are being annoying and I'm going to teach you how to not be annoying, right? Like, maybe you are being annoying and that's why you feel that way. I'm going to teach you how to not be annoying. So what I'm hearing from the agents is like, dude, if you guys, I see agents that are like showing a house on Saturday, and then I talk to the agent they meet the client on Saturday, and then I talk to the agent on Tuesday, and there's been no communication from Saturday to Tuesday. Does anyone think that's insane? That's bonkers. Don't do that. Talk to them, please. And I'm going to teach you today how to communicate with them without being like, hey, dude, this is what I used to do. And it worked. I'd be like, hey, I was just calling to check in and see if you got the email of the homes that I sent. And by the way, I'm lying. I didn't send them any homes. The MLS just sent them something at midnight, right? And they're like, oh yeah, Joe, let me go through them. Like, that worked. That worked. Like in 1985, like that shit worked, right? Like, but now it's just different, right? And so this training is designed to give you tools to reach out to your clients and provide value without bugging them. Mind blowing, right? Guys, this is your prospecting, dude. This is your prospecting. Like, you don't, because you're in this organization, the consumer just brought to you. Like, here's a consumer, employee, and I talk about Zillow because we get so many of these leads, right? And it's the most amount of homes we've sold this year are from Zillow Flex leads, right? And what happens is an employee at Zillow, someone clicks. Don't get it twisted. Someone in the United States or New Jersey or wherever you are, clicks a button and wants information on a house. A Zillow employee picks up a phone, calls them, verifies two things. Are you interested in viewing this home? Do you want to talk? Would you like to speak to a local agent verified by Zillow? Yes, cool. So that's what we're getting. And then we just got to go. So like, when I say prospecting, like, staying in relationship and engaging with your people is your prospecting. Dude, for me, I used to have to find business. I used to come in the morning at 8 a.m. I'd role play. I'd hit the phones. I'd call neighborhoods. I'd call expires. I would just call my database. I'd call my database for an hour and just talk dude, Katie Roberts is on this call. She's seen me do all this shit, right? Like, I would just call my database and be like, what's up, Mike? It's Joe. What's up? How's the fam? Cool. Like, I would just talk to people because I just knew I had to have conversations, right? And I never brought up real estate on those calls. The secret is the person you're calling brings up real estate. They're like, how's real estate? And you're like, oh, cool, man. You're like, I have 45 open houses on Sunday. I'm so busy. Why will this move the needle? High growth organizations report an average of 16 touch points per prospect within a 2 to 4 week span. 44% of salespeople give up after one follow-up. Dude, these leads that leads that we have are good. Some of them might close today. Dude, Gil Olson I talked about this, man. Gil just took a listing of someone that we called a year ago. It's a $900,000 listing. We called them, got in a relationship with them, went on an appointment, continued to follow up with them. And then they called us when they were ready, right? Like, this is what this looks like, right? So some people are transacting right now. Someone called Ethan on Sunday, went to go look at houses. They wrote an offer. Like, some are today, some are tomorrow, some are 30 days from now. We just have to talk to people, right? The optimal number of call attempts is 6. 95% of all converted leads are reached by the 6th call attempt. Things to write down, things to remember. You aren't bugging your clients if you bring value to them when you reach out. Calling and asking, how's your home search going? Isn't provided. Phil, how's your home search going? Is the same as, I'll send you some houses. Did you get that email I sent? I'll set you up on a search. Dude, if you tell me you're going to set me up on a search, I want to kill you. Like, I don't need any more things coming to me. Like, I know where to go to look for houses, man. Please. Sorry, I can't take it anymore.
Those people, understand these people, especially this is specific to Flex, Upsteady, Ojo, anybody that comes from the internet, they found you because they already have their own search, and it's better than your MLS dog shit search. The MLS is an antiquated piece of shit website that doesn't really work that well. The search has terrible UI UX, and Zillow.com and Realtor.com have much better UI UX experiences for the consumer. So that's where their search is. They have their search set up already. For you to be non-self-aware enough to say you're going to set them up on a search, make it says you're an idiot if you say that to the consumer, because they found you through a search. They already found the house, and then they contacted you. Your job is to go find them a house that they can't find on the thing, or get them the next house that pops up, or the one that they called in on, or whatever their goal is. But if you don't understand the fact that if they got to you because they had a better search than whatever you can provide to them, if you're going and doing what Luke is doing and actually searching for houses that aren't in the MLS or aren't syndicating out to Zillow, that's a different story. That's a search. I'm going to go perform a search for you and generate inventory for you. That's valuable. But setting up an MLS strip is spam.
Thank you, Gil. Average number of touches before a conversation happens is 16. Think about that, right? And then, guys, when I got time here. I'm gonna get into this too. Like, the lead that connects and like doesn't show up to the appointment or whatever, that's still a lead, man. Like, you're like that. We're gonna talk about how to re-engage those. Maria, you and I were talking about that yesterday. We're gonna talk about how to re-engage those people, right? They're all good. We're gonna stay in contact with everyone. Everyone's gonna be in contact with and stay in touch with. Examples of Pokeball and how to use them. The news article DM slide special. This is awesome. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. I want to show the one that I found them on internet. Perfect. Cool. So what you're going to do is this. The first Pokeball is sending them a news article, like wherever they're searching, wherever they're looking, like, hey, you know what? Like, if I showed them a house on Saturday and I'm not seeing them again until next Saturday and it's Monday, and I just want to poke them, be like, yo, I'm still a realtor. Don't call anyone else. I'm the best. I'm not going anywhere. I love you. Please. We're working together. I might not have won you over yet, but we're getting there, right? People work with you when they know you, like you, and trust you, right? So they got to know you, then they got to like you, then they got to trust you, right? So we're building this, right? So can you guys, so I just Googled news article. Can you guys see my screen? News article, Asbury Park Real Estate, New Jersey. This spun right here, right? Boom. Hundreds of new, dude, I just bought a house in Asbury. I like saw this. I was like psyched to see this. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Like that, I'm a consumer, right? So it's like hundreds of new luxury housing opportunities planned for Asbury Park, right? And now I'm gonna look at the date. I'm gonna be like, is this kind of relevant? When was this thing? Blah, 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 right? You get it right. I'm gonna check the date. I can't. Oh, here it is. April 9th, 2022. pretty relevant, right? So I'm gonna be like, cool, man. So this is about how they're building. Like, I've read this article. It's like insane. I can't believe this is happening or whatever, but like, it's ridiculous. This is not Miami. Don't even get me started. But that's what's happening. So what happens is you go ahead and where's my training? Here it is. Just go ahead. Script, call or text. Hey, blank, I just found this article on blank in the town you are looking in. Thought you might find it interesting. Simply Google real estate news in blank. Find something positive to send them. For example, Chris on the West, we've been sharing these trainings, right? So he popped in the same thing for Mission Viejo, right? In Orange County City, right? So just a news article, man, like something interesting. Like if they said they like sushi, be like, yo, this is my favorite sushi restaurant in Asbury Park. If they say, hey, I like, just be cool, man. Be like a cool, normal person that you would like want to hang out with and bring value and talk about cool things, right? Like that's it, right? The Zillow stalker Suavecito style, right? Call or text. Hey, blank. Cool. So does anyone know what Suavecito means? It's like kind, gentle, smooth, right? So we're gonna like slide in there and be like, hey, blank, Zillow pinged me and let me know that you have been drooling all over 45 Leaf Street in Laguna Beach. So what's happening now is, actually, I'm gonna go to Zillow real quick and pull this up, make sure everybody can see this. All right, share my screen. So if you have Zillow leads and you're in our program, right, you can come here and guess what you can see? This person, I'm a Marpo Southard. Guess what? That person was looking at homes today. I can click here and I can view the activity, right? And I can see, oh, so. Sorry, I have a killer dog on the loose. So you can see what these people are looking at, right? And you can basically be like, hey, you know what? I saw you were looking at 5 Sterling Drive in Livingston. When did you want to go look at it, right?
I'm wondering if I should like
All right, I'm
sing a
back.
song while we
All
wait.
right,
Okay.
fucking dog. Anyway, here's the other thing. We're gonna be like, so I just said, hey, I just saw you were looking at blah blah blah. When would you go look at it? I love this, right? I'm actually going to be that. I love when you say, hey, Zillow paid me and said you were drooling. Like we can't talk like other people are talking. We have to sound different, right? Christianos, he did it. He talks about when he worked at Zillow, he was like a salesperson at Zillow, and he would call realtors to sell zip codes. And instead of being like, hey, this is Chris from Zillow, I'm this is from Zillow Group, blah, blah, blah. He'd be like, hey, this is Chris from Zillow, what's going on? Like do that just to like, what? Because you're conditioned to being like, oh, you're trying to sell me leads, get out of here, bye, And so we just have to sound different, right? And that's what that looks like. So Zillow pinged me and let me know that you have been drooling over 45 Leaf Street in Laguna Beach. And then guess what, man? People want to work with people that are busy. There's an old saying, like, if you want something done right, give it to someone that's busy. If you're not, by the way, whenever I didn't have anything going on in real estate, that's when I was like, that's when I was the busiest, like, oh my God, I'm so busy. Like, I remember like nervously, hey Joe, how's real estate? Oh my God, it's so busy. God, please, do you know anyone who wants to buy a house? Like I remember being like, oh, I'm so busy. But anyway, I'm actually going in the area tomorrow. If you want me to take a quick little video, note the goal is not to do a video tour, but instead get them to say, oh yeah, we're free. We'll go check it out in person. Guys, if you know, if houses are hitting the market that they're gonna like, tell them that you're showing that house later. You're going there to preview it for a client. Do they want to meet you there? Things like that. Like, hey, because guess what you're doing is people do this thing where they say, hey, you know what? I don't want to bother them, or I don't want to make you go out of your way. And they do this. Like the amount of calls we get on Zillow where like people say, hey, can you show this to me? I don't want to bother my agent, which is insane. Don't even get me started. But what's happening is if you're already there, it's like, oh, cool. Yeah, we'll go look at it. That just makes it easier, right? It just creates just like there's no path of resistance there, right? It just makes it a little bit easier. So
Removes friction is what you're trying to say.
thank you. Thanks, Gil. Yeah. And so just remember, you guys can see my presentation right now, right? It's not on Zillow. You guys can see what people are looking at. And if they save a favorite, and you're not talking to them about it, this is unbelievable. Zillow has a website that's forward facing. They give us somebody and we can see what they're doing. And then we can talk to them about it. That didn't happen when I was on the MLS sending out stupid MLS searches or whatever, right? Like they're interacting. It's unbelievable the data that you have. You guys have everything in the palms of your hands. Oh, this is a good one, man. Call or text, right? By the way, if you call and they don't answer, don't leave a message, just shoot a text. And I would love it if you would send a video text. Every single video text I've ever sent out gets a reply, right? Call or text. Hey, blank, a client I was supposed to show properties to this weekend just got called into work, so I'm wide open Saturday. I saw you were looking at homes and blank. Did you want to go set a few tours up? And again, I would even take that a step further and just be like, hey, you know what? It's crazy. I saw you were looking in blank. I had a client to go see those 4 houses this weekend and they just canceled. Do you want to take their place? The homes are already set up. You do this on a Thursday or a Friday. You guys see what we're doing here, you guys? We're bringing value and we're like, and you also sound busy, man. You sound busy and you sound like you're an expert in whatever area they're looking in. Because you are. The off-market bait, right? Nothing's getting a more of a response than talking about off-market properties, right? We have an off-market channel in our Slack, in our Slack, there's an off-market channel. We have off-market properties all the time, right? We have plenty. Katie Roberts and I were talking about one last night, right? Like we have off-market properties, we have off-market opportunities. So let's talk about them, right? Script, call or text. Hey, blank, I'm spending some time today cold calling off-market properties in blank for you, and was curious if you had any other areas that I should have on my radar, right? This thing is twofold. There's a note here that says this is a great poke to use when your clients have gone dark or between 2 meetings. Example, you set up an appointment on Saturday and it's Tuesday, should be touching that person numerous times between now and then. A couple things here. It's happening more often than not. These are internet leads. And if you met them, a lot of these people have done all their research and they're transacting within 30 days. If they go out with you on Saturday, do you think there's possibly a chance they're going out with someone on Sunday to see different houses?
Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
dude. Thank you, Sarah. 100%. And until we're building this whole thing is we're building a relationship. We do business because we get into relationship with people. We don't sell anything. We help people through a process. This process sucks, by the way, if you go through it with a shitty agent, right? We help people through a process. We're not here to sell you anything. We do business because we get in a relationship with you. This happened multiple times. So let's say Ojo, Op City, Zillow Flex, right? We had a person come in on Flex, an agent took the call. It was a horrible call. They called in on a house and the agent did what they were not supposed to do. They told them that it wasn't available, right? Oh, the house isn't available. And then, believe it or not, this agent doesn't work anymore. Said, I'll send you some homes, right? That's not available. I'll send you some homes, right? That person doesn't work anymore. So what happened then was another agent on our team through Op City got the same client the next morning. You guys see what's happening here? So show value, get in a relationship. And what I say here is like, hey, you know what? My team and I are creating the market. We actually do a lot of off-market deals. I have a couple other buyers in this neighborhood. So I'm actually calling through that neighborhood right now to see if there's anyone that's thinking about making a move in the next 6 months. So I'm doing this for you. Is there any other areas you would consider? They're probably going to say no, or maybe they'll tell you, but either way, you're top of mind, right? And you're bringing them value and you're working. Most realtors are not doing any work. I don't know what they do, right? But we do, like I work hard, like we work super hard. And that's why people work with us. The other thing is you're doing this activity and you're telling them like, dude, I'm trying. And if they are talking to another realtor, or if they're dating somebody else for a minute, they're going to be like, yo, this person's no joke. And these are the inches, you guys, these are all the inches. The market is stabilizing, Poke. I love the squirrel rejoicing, right? We are not in a buyer's market. Do not say that to anyone, right? But does anyone here feel the market softening or changing or being a little different the last few weeks?
Not by me.
Not by you. Okay.
Central Jersey.
We're seeing in Monmouth and Ocean County, we're seeing price reductions. So what the number one indicator of this is the reverse prospecting call. So this is crazy. A lot of you guys have never seen this before. The reverse prospecting call is this. It's when you show up as selling a lot of houses as a buyer agent in an area. An agent will get a listing in that area and call you and ask you if you have any buyers. That shit has not happened in like the last 3-4 years. Like, so
I feel like I need new training for this.
Yeah. Oh, there will be. Trust me, man. Like we're ramping up. But what, like broker open houses? Did you guys ever hear of those? Like we used to bring sandwiches and set them up, and we used to invite realtors because we didn't sell. It took us our houses were on the market 90, 120 days was average days on market. And we're like, please bring me a buyer. We used to say that at broker open house. We'd be like, please bring me a buyer. Anyway, this is the market stabilizing, Poke. Hey, blank, wanted to keep you in the loop. Prices in blank are stabilizing and we're beginning to see fewer offers on properties. Much better buying opportunity, right? Hey, like whatever. This is for your like unresponsive, ghosted, whatever, like, hey, this is what's happening. This is 110% accurate. The market is beginning to change and soften. Days on market are up. Price reductions are happening. It's going to get interesting. Cool. So we're going to go through these last few slides. We'll wrap it up. Scenario number one, it's Tuesday. You took a connection call and set up an appointment for Friday afternoon to go see a house. Now, guys, do we set appointments outside of 48 hours?
No,
We try not to, right?
try not to. Yeah.
The answer is correct. That's correct. We try not to. But sometimes it's like, you know what? House hits the market on Tuesday, no showings till Saturday. Like that does happen, right, Ethan? Or coming soon or something. So in this scenario, first, you should have nailed the ALMS, right? And post connection call checklist. Second, we need to make sure that we stay in contact with this consumer over the next 3 days to ensure that they show up to the appointment, they stay engaged, and if they find any other properties, you're showing them to them, not the next internet person, right? What poke should we use to stay in touch with this client leading up to our showings? Hey, blank, I just found this article on blank in the town you're looking in. See how this works, right? You've just got to find creative ways to just talk to people and let them know that you're here without being like, did you get the email I sent? Did you see those houses I sent over? I swear to God, I had someone go, Joe, that's an automated drip. You did not send those to me. Someone said that to me once. I was like, oh my God, he's right. I was like, oh my God, he's right. I'm a complete fraud. Scenario number two, you showed a client a home a few weeks ago. They haven't been able to get them back on the phone yet. First, you should check Zillow, Ylopo activity, see their recent activity, if they're viewing properties or saving any. Second, we need to make sure that we are touching this lead numerous times over the week. Remember, the sweet spot is 10 attempts. Guys, you got to talk to them, right? You have to talk to them. People are like, well, I don't want to annoy them. You're either going to annoy them or you're either going to contact them a bunch and talk to them again, or you're going to never speak to them again, dude. I don't know which one. Like, I don't know which one, which one has the better opportunity for actually like helping this person find a house, right? Hey, blank, Zillow pinged me and let me know that you've been drooling over 45 Leaf Street. I'm actually going to be in the area tomorrow if you want to shoot a quick little video tour for you. Don't shoot video. Guys, listen to me. Don't shoot video tours. Don't shoot, like, hear me out, right? So like the hierarchy of communication, right? What's at the top? Voice to voice, face to face, right? Video, whatever. If you're going to show that house, ask them to join you and then offer to do a video tour. Okay. Zillow is saying that the number one indicator of people transacting is a tour, giving a tour. That's why when someone calls in and the house isn't available, that you just go meet them in the front of the house anyway, break the bad news there and have 2 other homes to show them. If we meet them and we're ready to give them a tour and we meet them face to face, that's the number one lead indicator that Zillow is telling us is going to get that person to transact with us, right? And we get to help them. And I'll be honest with you, I want these people working with us because I've seen the other realtors out there. Scenario number 3, you have been showing a client property for a few weeks now, but this weekend you're not scheduled yet, right? First, check their Zillow, YLOPO activity, fill in the blank, whatever platform they're searching on. Second, make sure if you're going to commit to it, you have the time to do it. What poke would be good? Oh, hey, blank, a client I was supposed to show properties to this weekend just got into work or got tickets to the whatever concert, and now I'm wide open on Saturday. I saw you were looking at homes in blank. Did you want to go and set a tour up, right? Things to write down. I can perform these pokes over the phone and by text message. Everyone should be doing them in the CRM, in Sierra, right? And if you're sending pokes over and over, you can like create them in our text. We should actually, Lauren, are you listening to this? Can you guys create these automated? Can you create the templates in our CRM for those things? And can you, in brackets, can you put Pokeball? That way they're easy to find. So now, guys, by the end of the day today, they're just going to be in our CRM as a templated text message, right? And all you have to do is click it and send them, right? When the time comes. If you are actively, this is a huge one, you guys, if you're actively showing a client, so that means the status is showing homes or submitting offers, they should never go more than 3 days without a poke. If they're looking at houses, they should never go 3 days without a poke, right? Facts. Can I follow up too much? Yes and no. It's all about how consumers perceiving your communication. As long as you're providing value on every touch, this should not be an issue. Should I be following up daily with every single client? No. This is where that CRM follow-up boss tasks come in. Our CRM does the shit for you. So you just have to follow the CRM. It's going to tell you who you need to call every single day. Working by design and not getting reactive in your biz is the fastest way to scale and consistently produce. Why does it feel like I'm bugging people? Let me be the first to tell you, you are not bugging them. If you are taking personal responsibility for every client and making that apparent, then you're not bugging them. You are helping.
If you have nothing valuable to say and you're just bothering them and just poking them without any kind of value, you probably are annoying them and you're not valuable. So the agent that does that would if they have any kind of social sense, it probably would feel awkward if you just started reaching out to people for no good reason. So you should have a good reason. You need to make yourself valuable. And like newsflash, most realtors are not valuable. So they do feel awkward. If you make yourself valuable by finding them a house off market, actually doing the things, calling the neighborhood, finding the property, or at least an article that's related to their search and educating yourself, that is valuable and it won't feel awkward. And if you are being normal and you actually are understanding their goals and you're thinking about what they want instead of what you want, you're going to, it won't feel awkward because they're really important about the schools. And I found this article about the school district or whatever it is, and you give it to them, you'll feel like you're giving them a gift instead of trying to bother them to sell a house or whatever. If you're only thinking about you and just being like, I'm touching base with them just to get what I want, that is going to make you feel awkward.
Cool.
Hey,
I want to
just to
respect everybody's
add
time.
on- Oh, sorry, Joe. Really quick, just to add on to that, I think the key thing here is if you implement all of this and you're intentional about how you're going to further the relationship with the client, that's going to make you better off. So I would try to look at it as a game. Each time I'm using a Pokeball and I'm trying to deliver some sort of value, what you want as the agent in return is what's one more thing I can learn about this customer to help me further our relationship or help me learn more about them. So if they're not ready now, that's okay. You're going to send them value. You're going to poke them. But if you happen to get them on the phone, if you happen to get them to engage with you in text, have some sort of call to action where you're either learning about them, like their kids, what they like to do in their pastime, their favorite restaurants, what's important to them, like where they like to go on vacation, like little things like that. Because at the end of the day, you're just trying to build a relationship so that when you talk to them next, you're going to add more value and bring up, hey, how did your kids' Little League championship game go? Did you guys win? Like, that's how you get them to connect with you more. All right. Great training, Joe.
Thanks, Audrey.
Bye, Audrey. We love you.
All right,
Thank
everybody.
you.
I
Bye.
respect everybody's time. Hope you got some value there.
This
Peace
was great. Thank
out.
you.
Yeah, of course.